It's hard to believe that we're 3.5 weeks in.
Yes.
I can't believe it. We're over halfway done. I mean, we still have things to do, but it's just the time frame goes by very quickly.
Right. No, I mean it is pretty crazy.
So I actually need to fix something because it's not in our normal class. It would be a 3-week unit. Anyway, so I guess I will get started here. How are you doing with Sophie Scholl and the White Rose? Are you a little bit behind on that, or?
Um, I read it a little bit when I was younger in high school because my grandfather was all about the Holocaust, so he wanted me to learn about it. But so far, I actually like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So that the writing project is going to be about that. And so using the fallacies that we were looking at in ethical argument should help you in terms of writing the paper. So our paper today, not today, but our paper is about the White Rose Resistance Group and how they fought the Nazi assumptions and fallacies. And so what that will have you do is look into what the Nazis were stating that the White Rose needed to, or decided to fight, not needed to. They made a conscious choice.
Right.
So I'm going to read the prompt out loud because I think that is helpful, and maybe one or two other people may join us and maybe not, and that's okay. It's all right. I've done one-on-ones before, and that works. So you are to identify assumptions and fallacies that the White Rose members had to contend with, i.e., which means that is Nazi propaganda. And then, so there's the assumption part, and then argue how effective or ineffective the activist group was in fighting these assumptions and fallacies. And then you're going to need further evidence to back up your claims, Nazi propaganda, and the Museum of Tolerance and the Holocaust Museum have some on their website. But also check out the sources from our Nazi propaganda and resistance inquiry. And that's the crux of it. And I'm going to say something so I don't forget it. After we finish our Zoom meeting here, I am going to put up an extra credit field trip. And what I mean by field trip is you go yourself if you decide you want to, for the Museum of Tolerance and or the Holocaust Museum. So I do offer extra credit for students who decide that they would like to go and see it. Now, you said your grandfather taught you quite a bit about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So did he ever take you to the Museum of Tolerance?
I remember going when I was like 5, but it wasn't like to me it wasn't a big deal because I was like 5 when he took me. But then when I got older, then I went like when I was 10, and then I really kind of understood what was going on. And then he even told me back when I was 5 that I was kind of acting up.
Well, I think that, yeah, I used to take, when I taught high school, I took my high school seniors. So you may decide to go back and visit, or you might, if you want to, check out the Holocaust Museum, which was not around when you were younger, most likely. It's a little bit newer in terms of the site. So the length is 1,500 words, and you have to have at least 4 sources. So you do obviously have to use Sophie Scholl and the White Rose.
Right.
You could cite Kertler if you want to, and then you need at least 2 additional sources, one from the library, and then if you want, one from the internet. So you have to have a library source in this. And you can easily go to the library and look up information and or go to the library. I actually have a page about using the Cerritos College Library. So I think after the Zoom session, in addition to the extra credit information and sending this video, I probably will send a link to those pages because they're helpful. I even look back at my own pages about the library because, you know, every library is just a little bit different.
Right.
And then this, for sure, this writing project is written in the third person, so we're not using any personal pronouns. And so the bigger issue, though, when we're looking at this prompt and why I am assigning it is that the problem is that inherent in every society, there are groups of people who wish to have the power to make decisions about laws and human rights. These decisions can have a lasting negative impact and take away human rights. And this is not just a problem found in history, something that, oh, well, way back then it was a problem. It's actually ongoing, and it is our responsibility to play our part in society to ensure equity. Our audience, even though a lot of times teachers have the teachers are the assumed audience, that's not necessarily always the case in the prompts that I write for you. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But for this particular paper, is your job is to speak to those who wish to make social and political changes in their own communities. This is meant to help them think about how to consider their tactics, meaning how they decide to fight the injustices, as well as how to identify false assumptions and fallacies by learning from history. And then our purpose is, as responsible citizens, our job is to be aware and critically question whether or not the decisions being made by those in power are ethical, and to spot pseudo-reasoning and other fallacies found in editorial texts, and if we so choose, take part in resistance. So we are right here in the schedule. Today's Wednesday, so these are the items that are due, although I need to take this one little piece out because this was for my regular class. So there's a couple of typos I have to fix for you guys.
Okay.
And then Thursday is your pre-writing and draft. So, and then the final essay will be due on Sunday night because we are a class.
Right.
So anyway, so that's that. I'm glad. I always like reading through this because I'm always able to find like, oh yeah, this, I gotta change this or take this out. So anyway, so do you have any questions?
So far, no. For the for the project, it's just we just have to identify the fallacies and see how it was effective or non-effective.
Yeah, so, but you are needing to look up Nazi propaganda.
Okay.
Needing to use, obviously, the text and the strategies that the White Rose shared that they used, right?
Okay. Right.
And, also identify if the propaganda, what kind of fallacies are located in it. So it's kind of a layered prompt. So you're going to need the outside sources. You should look up the fallacies again. A link to the fallacy Quizlet is helpful. And then you will be using the text to determine what they did and whether it was effective or not. And really, you could say this particular tactic was effective, this one was not. But you need to also look at it within the time frame. Obviously, they didn't have smartphones, and so they obviously were not using social media. So that was not at their disposal. So if you're looking and seeing what, like, let's say they chose a particular tactic and you're like, well, that wasn't really that useful. So you may want to think about, okay, so what might they have done instead?
Right.
And understanding that hindsight is 2020, you know, that, you know, when we're in the middle of trying to deal with an issue, we're not always as rational as we might like to be, because we can't see what's coming ahead. We can only make educated guesses.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, you were it. I think I feel like we went over this well enough. And so if you don't have any more questions, we're set.
All right. Awesome. Not a problem. Nope. I'm all good over here.
All right. Fantastic.
All right. Thank you.